What's going on, folks? This is Mr. Colion Noir, and this is the Sig Sauer SP 2022, chambered in 9mm. Now, when you usually think about a Sig Sauer, you usually don't think about a polymer handgun. But what a lot of people don't realize is that Sig actually has a couple guns that they've made in polymer. Most notably, the P250 and the SP 2022. Now, a lot of die-hard Sig fans really honestly can't stand the 2022. And I honestly think this gun gets a bad rap because I do think it is a good weapon. It isn't perfect, it isn't excellent, but I do think it is a very good weapon and it is reasonably priced. Sigs are noted for being relatively high when you talk about prices. Now, I have to be honest with you guys. I really like this gun. It is one of my guilty pleasures. And as a result, I'm going to spend the next 7 or 10 minutes telling you all the things about this gun that I love and some of the things that I don't. So I'm going to try my hardest not to be biased because I do really like this gun, but nonetheless, I'm trying to be my best to be objective and unbiased. All right, let's get into this. All right, one of the reasons why I actually really do like this gun is because of the way it looks. And to be quite frank with you, I think it reminds me, it's reminiscent to me of a 19. And I know that usually Glocks have, this angled grip and whatnot and all this other extra stuff and have a high bore axis. But I do think this gun to me looks like a 19's cousin. And I like it in that where the Glock stops at simplicity and function over form, this gun takes it up a notch. And it has this coolness to it, and it's a really cool looking gun. The grip on this handle looks really cool. It kind of looks like black sand, and has a really good feel to it too. But that's for another topic. And I just, the way it looks, it really does it for me. It really does. Now, somebody who can't really see where I get off on how good this gun looks, I would totally understand. But personally, I love the way this gun looks. But what I do like about this gun, and I think that goes understated, is the texture on the actual handle. I really like the texture on the handle of this gun because it works. It feels like, what it feels like is grip tape that has been used for a very long time and is not as aggressive as it was when it was first put on, but is now at a point now where it's at a perfect balance between comfort and grip. And I really like that about the texture on the handle of this gun. And then on top of that, you get three fingers around this gun, but then you also get a little lip here, which allows you to rest your pinky on there to give you even more positive grip. I'm a big fan of Sig Sauer slide releases because they're very over-exaggerated, they're big, and they're just easy to use. Anyone can use a slide release on a Sig Sauer. And everything is relatively well placed. Sweep down the release, sweep down on the cocker. Another good thing I noticed about this gun from an ergonomic standpoint is when you are shooting, this slide release, if you run a thumb forward grip, this slide release has a shelf that allows you to sit your thumb on top when you're shooting, at least for me, in that it gives me a nice, good purchase on the gun, and I feel more comfortable. I feel confident with the grip that I have on this gun. So you have a minor indentation here, which accommodates your index finger when you're holding it. You get it exaggerated. Well, I wouldn't say exaggerated, but a notable swell here, which allows you to get right up under the gun and the bore axis. Now, Sigs are noted for having a relatively low bore axis, so that's nothing new. But for the most part, like I said, from an ergonomic standpoint, the gun is really good. Now, here's where the 2022 starts to lose some points with me, and it's the trigger. The trigger isn't horrible, but it isn't that great either. And here's why. One, it's kind of mushy. It's smooth, like most Sig Sauer triggers are. It is really smooth, and the first pull isn't too bad. It's heavy, but it's not that long, and it's not too heavy. You get a lot of creep in single action. which I'm not a fan of, and then it drops. The reset on it is decent, I'll give it that. And it comes up here. It kind of creeps and it kind of jerks a little bit, but you get there eventually, and then it drops. I actually have a hard time dropping the hammer when I have my finger through the trigger well. And what I mean is this: a lot of experts recommend that you shoot with the palm, with the little pad of your index finger. Natural inclinations. Naturally, most people who aren't really into guns, they're going to come all the way through and kind of wrap their finger around. The problem with that is something about the design of this trigger which makes it hard for you to really drop the hammer. And I'm pushing here, and it won't drop until I just really give a good effort. So fortunately, I guess, what it does is it forces me to use the pad of my fingertips. So the drawback actually has some positive results, because now it's forcing me into good practicing strategy. So I don't think that was intended, actually. In that regard, hey, if it works, run with it. Now, the features on this handgun, especially for the price, are, I think, this gun's biggest selling point. Because at this price point, because a lot of Sigs are really high priced. They're expensive, but let's just say what it is. But this is noticeably cheaper than all the other Sigs out there. And I think that may have been the reason for why it's been bastardized, but it works. And another thing about it is the features that come on this gun for its price point is phenomenal, because this gun is cheaper than a Glock. And to be frank with you, I mean, you get a very good magazine release. You get your extension that comes with the gun, of course, pinky extension. You get a decocker. You get your extended slide release. You get these nice 3-dot sights here. You also get a chamber indicator. When a round is loaded, this sticks up, indicating that there's a round in the chamber. Picatinny rail here to add any lights or lasers that you want to add onto the gun. And it's ambidextrous in that you can swap the magazine release to the other side and run it for left-handed people. And then you get your bobbed hammer. All of that for less than the price of a Glock. You tell me what you think. I think that's excellent. So, Sig Sauer P2022. This gun is bad. I really like it. I really do. And if not for my love affair with Glock, I'm telling you, this easily will be my favorite gun. But I do have whatever feelings I have with the 19, and I really do like this gun a lot. It's a little big for concealed carry, but it's doable. You get a 15 round capacity. You get 15 rounds capacity in 9mm, which is great. But you can conceal it, but it's not its intended purpose necessarily. You make a good home defense handgun, and I mean you could carry it. I don't think there is an issue with that. But as far as the overall thoughts on this gun, I think it's a beaut. I really do like the Sig Sauer SP 2022. I think before any of the die-hard Sig fans knock it, I think they should really try it. And if you're not a die-hard Sig fan, you just really get into guns, don't let anyone tell you any different. You get a lot of people who have a lot of opinions about a lot of things, but you really don't know until you get your hands on it. And quite frankly, this gun is really nice. All right, folks, Mr. Colion Noir, and I'm out.